Want to watch? Got the brand new Poundcake podcast is up there. He talks to, it's called A Man in Uniform, and he does a deep dive. How would you describe this week's episode? We talked a little bit about it at the top of the show, but how would you recap? How would you encapsulate this week's episode?
It's a little bit of everything. I mean, it has some conspiracy theories. It has some political advice and opinions.
Recipes, sex.
No, none of that stuff.
There's no recipes and sex in it? Oh.
We said a little bit of everything, so it was...
You learn inner workings of,
He doesn't tell you how to make his mom's famous apple brown Betty?
Does not. But no.
Okay.
Talk about sneakers at all?
The inner workings.
The inner workings of, government and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's all there.
The private sector. I told him, I was like, I just wanted to say that. I was like, do you enjoy, working with an administration? Because he did work for the Trump administration for a little bit. I was like, or do you like working in the private sector? Yeah, I was like,
you were happy to say the words private sector?
I just think that's it's a very Washington, D.C. word. It's a very, I make more money in the private sector than in politics. I'm done with politics. You just want to work in the private sector.
Sure. Well, there you go.
That's what we talked about. I'm just
talking about the private sector. That's what he calls his crotch.
Mm. I mean, it is a private sector.
Right. When you're going on a date or you're trying to meet somebody, you're like, how would you like a position in the private sector? And then they get out to your car and they go, oh, now I get it. They showed up with a resume and wearing a tie. Nothing else, but wearing a tie. I think if you go to WMMS.com, by the way, you're going to find that are we giving away that while we were gone, because we were gone for a while, they announced the iHeartRadio Music Festival is happening in September. And I don't know if we're giving away trips for that. I think we did that while we were gone, right? Gave away trips for the music festival.
Sure.
It's hard. Nobody tuned in the 2 weeks that I was gone. Nobody listened to make sure.
Contest.
I see.
I did hear the part that I heard was just when there was the opening music playing over the opening segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to fire off a couple angry texts about that.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? But I'll tell you what, if you are looking for a place to have, first of all, the reason that I mentioned that iHeartRadio Music Festival is simply because it's happening in September. It's happening out there in Vegas. It is very largely a pop music festival, right? That's what the kids are into. But there's a couple of nods to rock and roll. Okay. Light or otherwise. Right?
Benatar, right?
Pat Benatar and the Black Keys are on it. They've added, who else is on there? Yeah, Pat Benatar and the Black Keys. I mean, what do you want? And then this guy, you talk about light rock, the guy from Mumford & Sons, they've just added. Marcus Mumford is the guy in that band, and he announced that he's going solo. How would you like to be, and this is why, if you're in a band, it's tough when it's named after somebody. Because you go, my name's Mumford, these other guys in the band are the Sons. And nobody knows who they are.
We're holding me back. I don't need the Sons anymore. It's just old Marky Mumford from here on out.
Right. Yeah, I don't get that at all.
He should go by Marky Mumford.
He's married to Carrie. He's married to the actress. The British, she's blonde. She was in Drive with Ryan Gosling. Carrie something. She's lovely, but that's his wife. But yeah, imagine that you're the guy in Mumford & Sons, and you go, you know what? I'm not getting the most banjo and accordion I can out of you guys. Carey Mulligan. One of the guys in that band peeled off because he got so much. He fired off a tweet that he likes some right-wing author, and of course you can't do that with the Mumford & Sons crowd. No. They get their waistcoats all in a twist, and so that their vests all got Yeah. So anyway, that guy peeled off. But just imagine you're one of the other guys. No one would believe you, by the way, if you told them, oh, what do you do for a living? I'm in the band Mumford & Sons. Are you Mumford? No, I'm one of the Sons. What's your name? Ted.
I'm going to be honest. Until today, I thought it was like a Hootie and the Blowfish situation.
Oh, you didn't think there was
where
anybody named Mumford?
Where there were no real Mumfords. And there are no sons. It's just a fun name.
Yeah. I mean, I only know Billy Mumford. He was a cockeyed optimist, caught up in a world of political intrigue that he didn't understand. But Marcus Mumford...
That's also a way to rock, though. That cockeyed rock.
Yeah, that is a way to do it.
See? Lots of ways, Sammy. Lots of ways.
But they must have really, I don't know how long the band's been together, but a while. And I guess this guy thought it was time to strike out on his own. Now, I guarantee you the music's going to sound exactly the same.
Well, he's probably going to play Mumford songs, right? Mumford
yeah, but I
Sons
always thought it was
songs.
funny where a guy is just desperate to go solo, but the music sounds exactly the same. Like if you go off and do something in a completely different genre, I get it, because you're not going to do that with that band. Ted Duane, Ben Lovett, and the guy who left was named Winston Marshall. Those are the other guys in Mumford & Sons. You could tell somebody that, and they wouldn't believe you, because how would they know? If you go like, I'm the Billy... A lot of people don't know. There's a black guy in Maroon 5. Imagine you're the black guy in Maroon 5. And you go, I'm in a band called Maroon 5. And they go, what? Are you Adam Levine? Nope. Then I don't know who you are. Now, for some of those guys... That's okay, because you're getting paid. You're not getting songwriter money. I mean, Adam Levine is taking all the money because he's writing the songs. You get a couple of songwriting credits, you get a little bit of money. Otherwise, you're just getting paid. And some people are probably just fine with that, living an anonymous life, but still being,
a rock star.
Being successful, sure.
Yeah.
And all that matters is when you're on that stage playing the music. So there's probably a lot of people in these kinds of bands who are like, I am just fine, people not knowing who I am.
How would you say that Mumford & Sons, like how do they rock? It's just kind of like a quilted rock.
Again, I don't think of them as a rock band, but maybe they consider
rocking.
themselves that.
Banjo rock?
I think of them as a folk band.
Folk rock. There you go.
Folk rock. Well, there you go. That's the beauty of rock and roll, and this is where I part company with Sammy Hagar, that there isn't just one way to rock.
Rock in a folksy way. I think you do that.
I mean, Neil Young said it. We're rocking in the free world,
Right.
so that leaves you free to define it however you
Are
want.
you trying to tell me that you don't think Neil Young rocks? Because I think Neil Young rocks.
Right, but nobody would call him light rock.
Oh, he's still rock.
So
I call him light rock.
Neil Young.
I put him in the light rock category.
So they're making a big deal about Marcus Mumford. Not only, but boy, imagine, I'd go solo too if they go, hey, your first solo gig is going to be in an arena in Vegas in front of 25,000 people. That's not a bad leaping off point. So he's going to be on that iHeartRadio Music Festival. He is going in a bit of a different direction. I heard a little bit of that solo music he dropped.
Well, a man from California called a few months ago. He said, boy, with your talent, we can make a lot of dough. I said, thanks for the offer, it all sounds swell. But I'm living for Jesus and I'm just not for sale. Not for sale. Not for sale.
Yeah, and so, Marcus Mumford doesn't even sound British there.
No, sounds like he's going a little country.
I'm living for Jesus and I'm not for sale.
I love that. What's more for sale than Jesus, by the way, on this planet? I'm not for sale. I'm living for Jesus. What's been more for sale than Jesus? But that kid, he wants everybody to know he's not for sale. And good for him, quite frankly. Take a look at him. Ain't nobody buying what he's selling. I like somebody dropped did you send me the AI-generated Coachella?
No,
That
I
was
don't think
funny.
so. I
Oh,
haven't
that
seen
was pretty good. Coachella happened in April. It already happened for this year. But when they'll put artificial intelligence will just come up with band names, or they'll say hey, we put a bunch of words in and this is what it spit out. And somebody was making the rounds, the Coachella lineup. An AI generated a Coachella lineup of fake bands, and it's great. This isn't brand new, but it makes me laugh every time. Fanch is a band. Now again, if you're, maybe you have aspirations of being a rock and roll star and you're currently in your garage, and you're like, we need a name. You could take a name off of this list. Be
All
great.
right. Which one do you think would sound like the most like it could be a band tomorrow?
These could all be a band tomorrow.
I mean, there's
One of Pig,
one of Pig,
Beth Factory,
I think Beachfield. I'm surprised we don't have a Beachfield
Right.
band already.
Fistopia. That's pretty good. Lil Hack,
Kilo.
McMunch. Yeah, halfway.
Only we bad are.
Boob Met Food Thoid. Yeah, whatever. Skin Clump. Yeah. So,
I like Mickey Rockets.
yeah.
Like if you are a solo act and you go by Mickey Rockets, that's a great name.
Yeah. There's just a band called
Creepy Boys.
This is a band called OW. O-W.
Chesty Squitters.
Bing the Bung. That's a good one too. Sagging Lack. Yeah, so it's you could pick any one of these and tell a friend of yours, "Hey, I'm going to see Fanch at Coachella with Paper Cop, and it's going to be great." And nobody could tell you were wrong because they all sound like real bands.
Dave Dump McDan.
Did you see Bog Wolf at Coachella? They were so Hoop of Gom. They were so good. Deep Harris.
Pegged.
Yeah,
Just pegged.
pegged. Hey, speaking of rock and roll, by the way, I don't want it to go unmentioned that on Friday, CLE Clothing Company is going to be dropping another batch of World Series of Rock old school MMS t-shirts. These are going to be online only. They're going to be very limited. But they're old. They say MMS 101, like going way back, right? Station used to do a thing called World Series of Rock. It's these big festivals in town. The World Series of Rock one year in Cleveland was famous for, that was the show where Joe Perry and Steven Tyler broke up after Aerosmith played. That's when they went on their hiatus. The Toxic Twins couldn't stand each other anymore at that point. Late 70s maybe, early 80s. Joe Perry would go off to do the Joe Perry Project. Steven Tyler would go off to do Cocaine, I think. But CLE Clothing Company, they're going to be dropping a new batch of World Series of Rock t-shirts, which are always cool. Old school retro MMS t-shirts. That'll be available at cleclothingco.com. And what's the code word you can use all this month for 20% off?
Bill.
Bill is the code word. Alan Cox Show After Hours line. For people who want to leave us voicemails, you can do it there. It's 216-986-8903.
Hey, Alan, this is Karen in North Olmsted. I was just listening to yesterday's video, you talking about your dad's secret dentures, and I just wanted to tell you, years ago, my mom has since passed away, but we were over for a family dinner at my parents', and my sister and I are looking at my mom like, why does she look different? And we lived locally, so we saw her all the time. But on this particular day, she's looking a little different, and so we said, Mom, why do you look different? She says, oh, well, I got dentures yesterday. And we just looked at each other like, all right, because she went to one of those quickie, they take your teeth out, they fit you with dentures right away, and they did not fit well. And we always joked that she looked like one of the Who's, the Who family in How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Anyway, you just reminded me of that. Glad to have you back. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you don't want to get... First of all, I didn't know that there were quickie denture places. I didn't know there were places you could go where they just... What, you drive through, there's a little kiosk, and they rip all your teeth out, and they put dentures in. Dentures are... Again, I mentioned this when my dad was put into the hospital. We didn't realize. Only my mother knew that he had been wearing dentures for about 5 years. None of us kids knew that. So it was very striking to see him there in a hospital bed with no teeth in. We had never seen him like that. And it made it considerably much more difficult to understand what he was saying. Because I was like, well, we can't put him back in because they don't want things blocking the airway. You know, they're not going to do that. So once they're out, they're out. But I wasn't aware. But it's absolutely something you want to make sure fit properly. Because like she said, you don't want to look like...
Yeah, you don't have sloppy dentures.
You don't want sloppy dentures. You don't want to spend half of your Social Security check on Fixodent.
At least he found out that the secret that he had was secret dentures, not like a secret family.
As long as he didn't get, as long as he didn't get new teeth. Well, yeah, that's something that, and people love to tell me those stories too about, oh my God, when my dad was in the hospital and there was like somebody who came and was hovering around, but nobody knew who it was. That wouldn't have even been a thought in our heads with our dad. But you hear those kinds of stories, and that's the last place you want to find out when you're kind of, at someone's bedside. You're the wife or the husband, and there's somebody milling around the room. Can I help you? Oh, I just came to pay my respects, and who are you? We've never met. Oh, you either got to make up some story, or you got to come clean. It's like this guy, Nick Cannon.
So many kids.
This guy's like famous now for leaving it in. Like that's his hook. That's like the log line on Nick Cannon is that he leaves it in.
One passes away, another one gets born.
Oh God, I forgot he had a kid die.
Yeah.
It's not a zero-sum game.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not getting the vibe that he's trying to like replace a kid who died.
No, he's not. But it's just a coincidence. Like we said like, he has 8 kids, and then it very quickly went down to 7. Now it's back to 8 again, and like now he has 8 kids again.
But I don't understand. Like, this is the most interesting thing about Nick Cannon. That and that he says the Masked Singer. But his whole hook is that he leaves it in. Like he's not, whatever. God bless Nick Cannon. I mean, I think he's made a pretty decent career out of who the hell knows what he does. But
I think that is his career.
The guy's has that much money where he's not worried about all these kids.
I think he's still getting
kids aren't cheap.
I think he's still getting alimony from Mariah Carey.
That's got to make her feel good.
I'm sure it probably does. He has twins, so he probably has child support. He gets child support.
Mariah Carey's paying for his new kids?
No,
not her. She has twins by him. So if they're over there playing? You think Nick Cannon's gonna be like, no, you can't play with that ball. Those are for Monrock and Monroe. You know?
No, I know, but I'm just saying. I mean,
kids are named Monrock and Monroe.
Monrock and Monroe. Yeah. Those are his twins' names.
Not even Morocco. Yeah. Moroccan. Right? They named their kid.
No, I think it's Monroe and Monrock.
No, it's Moroccan.
Okay, then.
Right?
You're telling me.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing.
Whatever happened to Mo Rocca?
He's on CBS Sunday morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, but I mean,
legit, huh?
Huh?
He went legit.
Oh yeah, him and Gaffigan. Yeah, no, but it's like if you were getting a lot of your money from somebody else, why would you keep having kids?
Because I'm Mariah Carey money long.
Right, but she's paying for your kids. Why didn't she pay for your condoms?
Well, that's no fun.
I mean, because if you're a woman, at some point you got to be like, okay, is this woman having sex with me because she knows I don't use? I mean, every famous guy fears that a woman's only into him because she's trying to get paid. At some point with a kid, lock him down. But that's like,
I think it's the ego thing though, because
what's the ego part? There can't be any ego in having kids, since generally speaking, everyone can do it.
If all his baby moms are bad, like they're all hot and they all got money and doing well in life, they have to deal with him no matter what. Like he is a root in their tree. So
I don't know what any of that means.
Well, I'm saying no matter.
I don't know why you have 8 kids. Like again,
Lil Wayne has like 8 kids.
I know, but Lil Wayne's a talented guy, right?
Nick Cannon has worth hundreds of million dollars.
Nick Cannon doesn't have hundreds of millions of dollars. From what?
He was on
Wild and Out.
He was on Nickelodeon.
When he was a kid.
Wild and Out.
Nobody getting rich on Nickelodeon.
Wild and Out is syndicated, so it's on various networks. It's not just on MTV anymore. So he probably owns that show. He has done a couple of movies.
How much do you think he's worth?
I would say like $100 million. How much?
I mean, this is internet suggestions of $30 million.
Okay, but that's 8 kids' money.
That's a lot. Yeah,
that's 8 kids' money.
Oh, this one says 20 million. It's going down.
Okay, so what I'm reading is that he came from a rich family.
Did he?
His dad was one of these televangelists.
Shut up. I didn't know he was a pastor's kid.
I don't know if you're a pastor, you're just a TV preacher.
But that's millions of dollars right there. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay. So he's an estimated net worth of $60 million. So that's
all the way from 20 to 60, though.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's a lot easier when your family's rich. Right? You didn't do it yourself. You did some of it yourself. But not your family's rich.
You got
and
connections.
Mariah Carey is paying you alimony. So
Alimony and probably child
tell me
support.
again what he does.
He
Other
is
than take other people's money?
actor, producer. He had a talk show for a season.
Actor, producer.
Actor, producer.
How anybody can write that on their resume?
He had a talk show.
All
And he
I'm
hosts a lot of things.
Again, all I'm saying, man, is I don't understand. Like you do you, and all the pictures of everybody involved, everybody's smiling, so everybody certainly seems happy. But that's like the shorthand for Nick Cannon now is somebody else got knocked up.
Before it was the turban.
And it's not like people are meeting Nick Cannon going, this guy is so unbelievably amazing. I've got to have a child with him. It's basically every girl he dates for more than 2 weeks, they go, guess what? You go on 2 dates with Nick Cannon, you're thinking about it on the way home. You're like, oh my God, I'm getting knocked up.
Get a piece of that $60 million.
Yeah, man.
I just don't know why. I get why they would do it. I don't get why he would do it.
I'm telling you, it's an ego thing. These women,
But what's the ego part?
you get to spread your seed to these wonderful women
That's
for life.
ego?
Yes. You get to
But
see
you're
that
on the hook financial. What's the ego part? Because most guys can leave it in and you'll get someone
people
pregnant.
with money
If I
don't
wanted
care about
to,
spending it.
But if that's patently false.
It is true. I mean, what
Is that why they pay so many taxes?
What other explanation is there for Mick Jagger?
Is that
Someone
why
like
rich people pay so much taxes?
They don't pay taxes so they can pay for people like Nick Cannon to pay
right.
for more kids.
Yeah.
But what is the excuse for Mick Jagger in his is he in his 70s or 80s?
He's almost 80. Yeah.
To still have children. That's
But
old sperm.
That's over 50 years. Nick Cannon, if he's on track to do what...
But what? You
he's
didn't answer
gonna
my question.
What?
Why would he want to have a child at almost 80?
Because he doesn't want to have the child. She wanted to have a child.
Yeah.
He goes,
Because
you're
20...
a good bird. I'll let you do that.
If I'm Mick Jagger and I'm 75...
I think
and a 22-year-old Brazilian model lets me leave it in, I might go, okay.
you always talk
If
about.
I'm Nick Cannon, I'm 41 and the chick's 30. Like, this is his hook. Mick Jagger's thing was not like, I have a kid every time. Because his girlfriend, that girlfriend he had for a long time, who was kind of age appropriate for him, she ended up committing suicide. They never had kids. People think Mick Jagger has 50 kids. I think he has like 5. Fewer than Nick Cannon.
I just
think it's weird.
I think it's a double standard.
What's the double standard?
I think you're excusing rock star behavior for Mick Jagger, but not
No, I'm
for
not
Nick
excusing
Cannon.
any behavior. First of all, Mick Jagger is almost a billionaire. So if you want to talk about if you have a lot of money, you don't care where it goes, you could make a better case for that with Mick Jagger than you could with Nick Cannon.
But Nick Cannon, you never hear about him not taking care of his kids. You never hear about him not paying child support. You never
Well,
hear
I don't
about
hear
his,
anything.
his
All I
children's
ever-
mother saying he's a bad person.
I don't ever hear any of that. All I ever see about him is when they're making another birth announcement.
I thought he was.
I think it's wild.
Wasn't he the guy that was having like one birthday for all his kids?
I
I
don't
thought
know,
I
but
heard that.
I don't
Maybe It
know.
was a joke.
One birthday.
There you go.
because it's too many of y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all get one birthday to
Y'all get
celebrate.
one birthday.
That's pretty nifty.
But that's what I'm saying. Why have all these kids if you're going to like not do the work? Let's do one birthday. Gee, thanks. I didn't tell you to leave
don't
it
quote
in.
me on that. I think that might have been a joke.
That's still pretty cool though. Instead of getting like each kid a gift on the other kid's birthday, because my mom used to do that for a while, so the other kid wouldn't feel left out. Y'all just get one combined birthday, so I don't want to have to deal with it because I'm only in town for one weekend.
I just feel like if you and I don't have any inherited money, but I feel like people who inherit money,
we know.
they should be better stewards of that money, not just I got all his money. Now again, I mean, if you're taking care of a bunch of kids, I mean that's good. It is good. I'm just not sure why you'd want to like become shorthand for I mean, I think you're right, Poundcake. I think it is an ego thing for him. I just don't understand that.
Because he has
What is the ego part of something that every guy can do?
Well, you just said it, Alan. What other hook does he have? If he is known for knocking up the baddest bitches in the game, then if I have money and they're cool with that, I'm not hating on it. Sure, I have sex and I'm okay with having another kid. If people want to talk about that I have the most beautiful black women in the world, having my seed, I can rock with that.
Oh,
I'm
these
okay.
girls aren't black.
Some of them are black.
Some of them are.
What's the whitest one? I don't know if
This Brie Taisi, right? The new one?
the newest one. Okay, well,
I think so.
I think she might be the first one.
I'm way late. I gotta go here. Here I am going on and on about
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon's penis. Hey, listen, I will have tickets for you on the way back for that stadium tour. Def Leppard coming to Cleveland with the Crew, Poison, and Joan Jett in July. If you want to go, I'll hook you up coming back.
It's the Alan Cox Show.